At this time, we are in the process of learning or revising SQL. In that process, so far, we have created a database in Postgres database server. Also, we have created few tables. Also, we made sure the data is loaded into the tables by running relevant scripts. Before getting into the details with respect to writing SQL queries, let's make sure we are comfortable with this IDE called as pgAdmin. I'll be using pgAdmin as IDE to interact with databases. Make sure you are also comfortable with it. I always promote force to accelerate the learning. Force stands for focus, observe, read, comprehend, and experiment. You need to follow these aspects to get better at these tools so that the productivity with respect to learning goes up considerably. To be focused, you need to have right environment. I assume you have right environment to stay focused. Now, second part of the force is nothing but observe. You need to make sure you observe and get better understanding about the tool. If you look at this tool, you have menu bar. Menu bar contains several menus. It have file menu, object menu, tools menu, help menu. Then you have left sidebar. This is called as the left sidebar. This is the main area where we'll be launching the query editor and start writing queries. Here you also have dashboard properties, SQL, statistics, dependencies, dependents, etc. Now, if you observe, again I'm talking about observe. If you observe, when it comes to this one, this is not grayed out. You see this is in gold color. However, these two are grayed out. And also you see there is a X here. They represent these are not connected at this juncture. As of now, we have connected to ITversity Retail DB database using ITversity Retail user. If you observe and understand what is going on, you will get better at it. Now, to launch query editor, I should be able to right click. You see there are quite a few options with respect to the right click menu. You have create, you have refresh, restore, so and so forth. At the bottom, you have query tool, which is last but one. You can click on it. You can see it have opened a new tab here on top of dashboard, properties, SQL, statistics, dependencies, dependents. You have new tab. The tab is related to this query editor or query tool. You need to observe these things and make sure you understand what is going on. Now comes read. You need to make sure you read and understand the meaning of these by comprehending. So force stands for focus, observe, read these items, try to comprehend. Comprehend means understand. Try to comprehend or understand as much as you can. Over a period of time, you will get better at it. In this case, I have already mentioned this as menu bar. If you are not familiar about term bar or menu at this juncture, if you try to spend some time in understanding these important terms, you will get better at it. No matter which tool you use, you will have menus like this. Almost all the tools have the menu bar. Even your browser will have menu bar. Once you start interpreting or understanding these terms, your learning ability will go up considerably. That being said, as I launch the query editor, on top of existing tabs, there is a new tab. The tab is nothing but this one. It is related to this query editor. In pgAdmin, this query editor is also known as query tool. You can see query tool here. Now, as part of this query tool or editor, you have ability to write queries using this interface. As of now, query is selected. If you observe, it is highlighted. There is an underscore here. It means this is the area which is selected. On top of query, this query tool or editor also have query history. Now you see query history is selected or highlighted. Once you start writing queries and running queries, you might be able to review past queries under query history. That is the purpose of query history. Keep in mind that I might not be covering all these nuances with each and every tool. What I am highlighting here is it is important for you to apply force and try to get better at these tools. Force stands for focus, observe, read, comprehend. In this case, I am trying to comprehend what query means, what query history means, and also experiment. If you start experimenting and applying all the attributes of force, you will be able to understand these tools better, understand the terms better, understand the concepts better. Over a period of time, you will have all the required skills to get the job and also excel at the job. That being said, let me start with this query. Already I have a database by name itversity_retail_db. It already have tables. The tables are there as part of public schema. If you observe the hierarchy here, under databases, I have expanded itversity_retail_db. In that itversity_retail_db, schemas is expanded. In that, public is expanded. On top of public, there are no other schemas at this juncture. There is a possibility we might end up having additional schemas. But for now, we do not have any other schemas. Now, in my case, I have 10 tables. You might have only 6 tables. The tables which you might have are nothing but categories, customers, departments, order items, orders, products. The reason why I am explaining these things is because you should be able to use this interface to access tables, column names, etc. to write queries without many mistakes. In this case, I'll be using orders as table to write queries so that I demonstrate the details with respect to this query tool or query editor. Now, if I expand, I can also see the columns related to the orders. You see, orders have 4 columns. If you are familiar about SQL, to get all the columns, we should be able to say star, then we can say from, then we should be able to specify the table name. In this case, the table is nothing but orders. I would like to review only first 10 records. As I'm using Postgres, I have to use limit 10 like this. We should be able to end the SQL statement with a semicolon like this. Now we should be able to select this. You can go through the items you have here. Okay, I would highly recommend you to observe these. Try to read the tooltip. If you move your mouse onto these icons, you see the tooltip comes up. Try to read the tooltip and try to comprehend or understand. That way you will get better at using this tool. Now, if you observe this, it is saying open file. In case if you wanted to open a file which contain SQL scripts, you should be able to use it. Once you start making changes to this file, which is nothing but query tool or editor, under the hood, it will try to have a file. If you wanted to save this file, you should be able to use this. It also have options to edit and also to filter if you wanted to filter. The most important one is nothing but this one. You see, there is a special triangle icon here. In most of the tools where you have to run code or SQL statement, you will have icon like this. Wherever you see icon like this, it is nothing but run or execute. Okay, so now you should be able to click on this to run the query. You can see the output. This is how you should be able to comprehend and interpret details about whatever you are seeing as part of the interface. Now the query is executed without any issue. So in future, when you try to write SQL queries using pgAdmin, make sure you write queries like this and make sure you execute queries as the query is executed. Now if I go to query history, you can see the details about the query I have ran. You can even see the date and time at which it is run. You should be able to use it if you want. You can actually click on this. You can see the query here. Now, if you observe and read, we have copy and copy to query editor. It is primarily to copy this and run it without typing the query again. In case if you wanted to understand this a bit better, you can experiment in Force and you can take it further. Now, let's go back here. Let's use this query as reference and let's try to query the data from order underscore items with limit 10. First, we should be able to review the spelling of the table from the left sidebar here. We have order underscore items. Now we should be able to copy, paste here, Control C to copy and Control V to paste in Windows. If it is Mac, you have to use Command C and Command V. Once you copy paste, you can replace the table name from orders to order items. If you observe, when you use IDs such as pgAdmin, it will try to auto suggest based on the existing table names. You can see it is already showing order underscore items. Instead of typing, we should be able to select like this and we can take it further. Using these features of IDEs, we should be able to accelerate our learning process. Now let's select this and click on run. You can see that I have selected and if you observe, it is highlighted, whereas this line is not highlighted. If I select this one, this line will be highlighted. Now let me select this one. Now it is highlighted. Now we should be able to click on this to execute. You can see the output here. You can go to the query history. You can see both of the queries here. Even if we remove these queries from here, if you go to query history, still we can see these queries. We should be able to pick these queries, copy to query editor or copy to buffer. We should be able to paste and we can take it further. Now let me select this one. Let me click on copy. You see it is changed to copied. Now let me go to query. Let me paste here. If you are using Mac, you have to use Command V. If you are using Windows, you have to use Control V. Like this, we should be able to pick the queries from the history, run and take it further. Now let's spend some time on semicolon. Semicolon have important meaning. It actually ends the query. If you wanted to have multiple queries in the editor and if you want to run all the queries, then you have to separate each and every query with semicolon like this. Let me line break here. Let me add this one also. I have copied. Now I have pasted it here. Now we have two queries. If I remove semicolon here, this entire query will be treated as one query. As this is not a valid query, it will throw error. You see, it is throwing error. I'll also talk about how to interpret these errors at a later point in time. For now, just keep in mind that if you have multiple queries to run, make sure each query is separated by semicolon like this. Now you should be able to click on execute here. Both the queries are run under the hood because we haven't selected any one query. You should be able to go to query history and you can see the details about both the queries that are run. Okay, you see here at 10:47 it have ran both the queries. Again, you can copy to query editor or copy to buffer and then paste into the editor and you can take it further. Like this, you just apply force on top of this tool, get better at it while learning. Keep in mind that even though you are spending time on pgAdmin at this juncture, when you are introduced to other tools such as Azure Portal, VS Code, which is Python based IDE, some of these concepts are applicable there also. So here we are not just learning pgAdmin, we are learning force, how to apply force to get better at tools so that we are comfortable with the tools which will accelerate our learning process. Also, our effort at the time of working in real projects. As part of this lecture, we have gone through quite a few important details with respect to pgAdmin so that we can use this effectively to write queries. We have gone through the details about how to get table names and column names against which we want to write queries. We can use this sidebar, navigate to relevant schema, then tables, and then you can even go to the table and get column details in case if you wanted to specify columns in your queries. Also, we have gone through the details about how to launch query tool. We just have to right click and then click on query tool. It will open editor here. Then we should be able to write queries like this. Using buttons like these, we should be able to run the queries. Also, we should be able to review the history of the queries by going into the query history. We can also pick the queries from the history by selecting relevant query or a bunch of queries, and then we should be able to use these features to pick these and take it further. Definitely using tools like pgAdmin will accelerate our learning process when it comes to SQL. Even in projects, it will help you to write queries faster for your projects.